Hello, I'm Margaret Graziano with Keen Alignment, where we empower people committed to shaping organizations that work. A global survey by PwC reports that 50% of all executives believe their organization is not adaptive to change. Change, by its nature of being change, causes people to respond with fear, anxiety, and stress. Even when we're doing something noble, like transforming corporate culture, it still is change, and change causes negative reactions. People who feel negative emotions at work are nearly 10 times more disengaged than employees who feel positive emotions. According to the American Psychological Association, the cost of stress on US companies is $300 billion per year. Bottom line, we need to set people up to win with change. We need to train our people to be resilient to change inside and outside our organizations. As leaders in the organization, we need to be more empathetic to the plight of those who feel fear and frustration around the change. The impact of that fear and frustration has on the viability of the change program is imperative for us to learn about. The answer is twofold. First, communication, as we discussed in the last training module, and second, training that we're discussing in this module. As we mentioned in the former training, we must communicate the why, what, where, when, and how, as well as the long-term benefits of the organizational change. Connecting the dots for our team members enables them to strengthen their skills at systems thinking. Part of connecting the dots and giving our employees insight into the overall theme of the change, we need to share the realities and the adverse impacts of not making the changes. What happens if we do nothing? People need to know that. The second step in effectively navigating change is teaching people to look within and consider their natural reactions and potential for resistance to the change. A study from the Association of Training and Development cites that organizations that invest and provide training and development for those leading, managing, and navigating change have a 60% better shot at achieving their organizational change management goals than those who do not. When we train our employees to consider and explore conscious use of self, they're much better equipped to understand what's behind their fear and frustration with regards to change. Offering adaptability and resiliency training gives employees knowledge and fertile ground to practice what they're learning about themselves and how to navigate change in a safe space. When we give our staff the opportunity to try and fail as an experiential, exploratory manner, they're much more able to self-express, collaborate, and share themselves with the understanding that they're free from the consequence of screwing it all up. The best training on change management and managing change includes content on exploring emotional intelligence and neuroscience. This is the knowledge of how the mind works, and it's very powerful when learning to navigate change. When we give the gift of self-awareness to the members of our workforce, we also give them insight and breakthroughs for managing stress and challenge throughout the change. Learning to effectively navigate change means also gaining traction in shifting our reaction when that reaction is not useful and prevents us from growing and moving forward. When our employees are awake and aware of their strengths as well as their weaknesses with regards to dealing with change, they're much more equipped to choose a new way of being in the face of these changes. Everyone responds to change from their personal perspective of what the change means to them. So as leaders, we need to be committed to making our organizations better, and we need to make it our business to set our people up to win around change. Employees who are connected to how their personal contribution will positively impact the change are much more likely to buy in. When we take the time to tell people how they matter and show them what they do positively will impact our success, they are much more likely to contribute in new ways. We all need to own the responsibility for the successful implementation of the changes that we're proposing. We need to proactively assess the constraints, intangible and tangible, that might get in the way of making effective change. We then need a plan to address and remove those constraints. We need to give our folks the right tools, tools that empower and enable them to deal with the emotions that pop up along the way as we're moving their cheese to a new location. When our workforce is trained and prepared to manage change, they're much more empowered to fully contribute to the change and to the success of the change. I'm so excited that you're joining us for this program. I encourage you to take full advantage of the materials and the resources that we're sharing with you, including our upcoming webcast on organizational culture. Use the link in your email to register and hold your spot. Thank you again for joining me today, and I'll leave you with a quote from Jack Welch, former CEO of GE. An organization's ability to learn and translate that learning into action rapidly is the ultimate competitive advantage. Thank you again, and we'll see you tomorrow.